Welcome back to Values in Action. We have our community panel assembled consisting of Maurice Newman, who is a facilitator for Project Love working in the schools, and Renee Dryja, who is the publisher and editor of the Learning Post magazine. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we're talking about Majestic Steel. What comes across to me from Jonathan Leebow and from Tony, one of his supervisors, is a level of compassion that you don't see in every company. It just seems to be a one-on-one understanding, human being to human being. Did that come through to you?
Yes, it did. It came through as a family, a caring unit that would support each other in all situations. And that coming in a manufacturing situation is so rare and so wonderful, because that's the kind of thing they should have. That's the kind of thing they need because of the stress they're under in many different areas.
Now, how can this feeling, this is a great feeling which makes you very comfortable, and they also talked about that if somebody makes a mistake, they don't throw them out, they don't penalize them, that becomes a learning situation. But how do we duplicate that in a larger environment? How do we take that into community? How do we take that value and really make it work for our society or community?
I think starting with at the company level, and one of the interesting things about Jonathan Leebow is he's fairly young. But I think that when you are in the position that he's in and you're hiring people, everyone wants to hire good people. The thing that I think where a lot of companies miss the boat, there are those employees who kind of like to do the same thing every day because they're very comfortable. There are others that are more entrepreneur. Maybe at heart they are an entrepreneur, but for lack of resources or whatever, they're not able to do their own entrepreneurial activity. So within a company, they can have sort of an intrapreneurial experience, that the company looks at them as an individual. What are their strengths? What are their abilities? Allows them an opportunity to grow within the company. They feel that they're valued. They feel that their ideas are valued, their thoughts are valued, their contributions are valued, and they're able to move within the company. It gives them a kind of comfort. And as they were saying, when you go home and you've had those positive experiences during the day, that translates into who you are, how you relate to other people, because you don't feel that you're put in a box that you really are trying to get out of, where your life becomes somewhat of a struggle. And I think to be able to recognize that and to see that in people, and especially someone his age, because he's growing as a manager and as an owner at a very young age.
I think, Ratanji, just picking up on what Maurice said, that the unique thing that I think Majestic Steel presents to our community and to other companies is the potential cloning, not only the values that they instill in their employees, but the idea that here's a 200-person employee. Now let's fast forward that to a 1,000-person company or a 20,000-person company, that you can potentially achieve the same results if you instill human compassion in your supervisors, in your executive team, for them to see their direct reports and the reports to their direct reports, and on down the chain for each individual to see another human being as just a human being, not their employee, not somebody they could push down, not somebody they could order around, but we're in this together, we're one family. And if we do that, then we're scaling Majestic Steel within our community.
See, I'd like to pick up on what Maurice said, that there are certain people who are comfortable doing the same job over and over again. But I think most of us are insecure beings. Some are more insecure, some are less insecure. And it is our insecurity which makes us do the same job again rather than trying again. So if the company environment is such that encourages you to break the mold and try something new, and that converts even the people who love to do the same job over again and convert them into entrepreneurial. And that comes with first having trust in them, having confidence which is in the people now to try new things. And going forward in this global environment, no company can stand to make the same product, the same thing over and over again. Every company has to move forward. Every company has to be innovative. So I think Majestic Steel has a great powerhouse, which is that they have confidence of their people and they have comfort zone, and they should go one more step and convert their people into entrepreneurial and prepare them for future.
Sometimes the fear of failure overrides the drive to try new things.
But that's where the confidence comes in.
And
if
right.
the employer, if the environment of the company is such that they're not going to penalize, they actually ask you to try new things, then that failure goes away. And failure is really gets into trying new things.
If it's a nurturing situation,
Right.
then you are in a comfort zone, so
Right.
you are willing to try, because the failure, if you do not succeed, you won't be it will not be held against
Yeah,
you.
it
The
won't
fact
be held-
that you tried.
You learn from them.
Yes,
Right.
you
You
learn.
learn from
It's the
failure.
experience will show you what you can do, what you should do. Maybe there's another step because you took this step, but you need to go over here instead. But at least you're trying and you're moving out of that little box.
Well, thanks everyone for participating. Ratanjit and I are going to be back in a moment with some final comments. Welcome back to Values in Action. Ratanjit, what impresses me about Jonathan Leebow and Majestic Steel is the authenticity of the individual and the company, that they have established values that are very clear, but the values just don't stay at the surface. It seems as though they've developed a compassion and a way of communicating those values, not by saying them, but by their actions, by
Practicing
their
them.
compassion, by one-on-one relationship with individuals. And I want to tell you a little story about Majestic Steel because Majestic Steel happens to be a Project Love sponsor. When the economy was crashing, there were lots of companies that were laying people off as their business was going down. And the first thing to go also is charitable giving when business is going down for a lot of companies. So there were lots of companies decreasing their charitable giving. Majestic Steel not only did not lay people off when their industry was crumbling, literally the steel industry crumbled, but they, in many cases, in all cases, they either met or exceeded their charitable giving to individual charities. And I remember Jonathan Leebow coming to me and saying, you know what, the economy is pretty bad, but we are going to give you the same commitment this year than last year.
But the character of any company is really judged during the difficult time. It's anybody can give charitable contribution when the going is good. It is only in the bad times that your true character, your responsibility to the people who need it most comes through you. So this is what we can learn from such an organization with these values, that you sustain your values regardless of how tough the time is. And that is the values, those are the values which are really integrated.
I want everyone to weigh in on this subject by sending us your tweets. So join us on Twitter at Values Action.
And join us next week at the same time on Values in Action.